All right, friends, this is a breathing drills tutorial. This is just an overview because it is imperative that you execute these breathing drills well, or else you're not going to find the right adaptations you're looking for. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through. I'd like for you to do this with me in this video. Okay, so find some space, get down on the ground. I'm going to walk you through how to breathe and what to focus on. There's two kind of completely different aspects to the breathing drill that are sort of almost in opposition of each other. One is going to be you relaxing into a position. The other one's going to be you finding the right musculature that you're supposed to be engaging without tensing up too much, okay? In general, everything is about reducing tension. However, the caveat or the direct conflicting nature of this is that sometimes we're accessing a position where we're trying to target certain musculature to turn on, but if you're trying to turn it on really aggressively, you might find that you're fighting tension with tension, and that doesn't work, okay? We are resetting joint positions with these drills to allow for the right muscles to turn on and the other muscles to turn off, okay? So let's go through the breath first and foremost. I'd like for you to find a comfortable position on your back, okay? And I just want you to plant your feet flat on the floor so that you feel really comfortable here, okay? You're gonna take your hands, we're gonna place them on your belly. If you're in this position, your belly should be soft and relaxed. If for some reason you feel that your six-pack ab muscles are taut and tense, I want you to just see if you can release that. Let your belly button fall. Let yourself get to this very soft jelly belly, okay? When we go through breathing drills, typically, especially if you're a narrow ISA, and if you don't know what that means, that's cool. It's essentially just talking about your structure, your rib cage structure and your bone structure. It's common that people will turn on their ab muscles just all the time. It's hard to shut them off, okay? So that's one thing to look for. You can take your hand and make sure that it feels soft. When you breathe, you want to think about a soft and quiet inhale through the nose. So practice with me at your own pace, very slow. A nice, soft, quiet inhale through the nose. You'll notice you didn't hear me breathing in. When we think about where air is going, our diaphragm is inside our rib cage. So people talk about belly breathing. And while there is descension of the diaphragm, you're not breathing into your belly. You're breathing into your rib cage. So what I want you to think about, you're going to take your other hand, so your original hand is on your soft jelly belly. You're going to take your other hand and place it on your ribs. I want you to imagine that your rib cage is a barrel, and I want you to breathe 360 degrees into said barrel so that you expand it 360 degrees. What that means is you'll be feeling pressure going down into the ground. You'll feel your left and right side body opening out to the left and right, and you'll feel your hand rise towards the ceiling, okay? So we're gonna take an inhale in and we're gonna practice that. Some of you are gonna have a lot of trouble with this, and some of you are specifically going to feel like you are lifting your rib cage up into your neck, into your head like this. Okay, make this more dramatic. We don't want that either. What we want is that 360 degree expansion. So you can imagine a bra or a band around the rib cage just beneath the chest, and you're going to expand that band, all the way around, okay? So make it bigger cylindrically. You'll notice that my belly is still rising, but I'm focusing on the 360 expansion of my rib cage. I want you to practice this, get really good at it, okay? When we go through the breath, anytime I cue the breath in breathing drills, it is a two-part equation. One we've already done, which is a soft inhalation through the nose, quiet, easy, gentle, and slow, okay? It's not forceful, and you're not trying to take in so much air. You're just trying to fill up to a natural full, okay? On the exhale, I want you to imagine that there's a mirror in front of your mouth, and you're gonna open your mouth and fog the mirror like, so let's practice this in the easy position again, okay? Take your inhale. When you exhale, I want you to go all the way out, not too forcefully, not too aggressively, but get all your air out. And when you get to the very end of that exhalation, you should feel your obliques or your side ab muscles kick on just a little bit, like 5, maybe 10%. And I don't want you to try to kick them on. I want you to let them kick on through the exhalation. So Let's practice that, and I want you to see if you can feel your obliques turning on just a little bit. It's almost like your waist is getting a little bit tighter, a little bit smaller, sort of like there's a corset that's cinching up, but it's very subtle. I need you to connect to these two things: 360-degree expansion of the rib cage and that subtle side ab tension when you exhale all your air out. If you can get good at those two things, just breathing like this on the floor, you will have so much more success in your movements, okay? The other thing we were talking about is not fighting tension with tension, but being able to tension up the correct spots. So I'm going to show you a 90-90 hook lying breathing drill. You may or may not have this in your prescription. You're going to put your feet on the wall, okay, in a 90-90 position. This should feel very comfortable on the back. And the intention behind this is to essentially drag our heels down the wall without moving them. So I'm going to just increase the effort of kind of digging my heels down, sort of like this motion, but I'm not actually going to move my feet. And what that's going to do is gently lift my pelvis up. Just to make sure you can see this, this is the action that's happening. My pelvis is lifting up and tucking underneath me, okay? But it's subtle. I'm just connecting to the wall and pulling down gently so that my pelvis gets tucked up. You can think about your spine or your tailbone kind of tucking and lifting up towards the ceiling. One of my mentors likes to describe this as pulling Velcro up on that end of the floor, right? So your back is Velcro against the ground and you're just peeling it up, or tape peeling it up, okay? When I'm here, I want to make sure that I don't crunch my abs and fight tension with tension. So I'm still soft, I'm still relaxed, but now I can feel very subtly my hamstrings engaging to pull my pelvis into this position. That's the tension or the engagement that we want, but we don't want to make this so aggressive that it feels like an exercise, like a strength exercise. It's just a position. Once we have the position, we want to maintain that isometric contraction of these hamstring muscles, but allow for us to still go through the same relaxed breathing where we fog up the mirror on the exhale, and then a quiet inhale through the nose, expanding the rib cage 360 degrees. Because I'm maintaining this subtle positional tension point, my hamstrings will accrue or accumulate a bit of fatigue. They'll start to cook, they'll start to work, but it's not because I'm trying harder, it's just because I'm holding and maintaining that position. Something else like a quadruped, where you'll have shoulders protracted, separated from each other. It's common for my clients to go through the exhale, be focused so much on their breath that they'll sink down and lose the position. So the position is protraction of the shoulders, or separating them, moving my spine away from the ground, but I'm not squeezing and rounding and trying really hard. I'm just maintaining this original position as I go through my inhalation through the nose. Thinking about filling up 360 degrees around the rib cage, and then that fogging of the mirror, getting all my air out, and repeating without changing the shape or losing my position, okay? So it's sort of this balance between maintaining the position and relaxing into the position. The last one I wanna go through just really quickly with you is something like a side lying roll, where I'm not really in a position except for the side lying aspect. I'm not tensioning up anything, okay? And in this kind of movement, I'm trying to relax as much as possible. So if you lie on your side, lie down on your right side with me here. I want you to just feel the subtle nature of this movement. So this would be a roll where I'm essentially shifting open and closed, but it's so subtle and it's so slow that if I do it for real, you're not even gonna see it. And so what I wanna focus on, so get on your side, is I'm gonna take my left knee, you're gonna take your left knee, and just very subtly, slowly reach it forward of your right knee. When you start to feel that right hip kind of tensing up or locking up or stretching, you're done. That's it. We're just playing with the available space that we have. And so less is more. I'm gonna take my top arm and do the same thing. I'm gonna reach forward until I feel like my shoulder on the downside is kind of tensioning up, or I feel some sort of restriction on my top side. And that's it, I'm relaxing. I'm gonna come back, I'm gonna start with my hip. I'm moving that left knee back behind the right knee till I feel like, okay, that's basically my stopping point, or else I have to try really hard and something cramps up. And then same with the hand. I'm moving back slowly. Now in this position, I don't have anything supporting my head, which I don't recommend. You should always have something to support your head. But if you don't, and you have to do it like this, you just need to make sure that you're not turning your neck muscles on and again, creating more tension when we're trying to decrease tension, okay? So your goal here, and my suggestion to you, is to focus on the massaging aspect you feel on the floor. I'm basically massaging my right hip and my right rib cage into this hard floor and moving back and forth. Now I'm moving back and forth quicker than I'll actually ask you to, but that's what I can focus on in order to really melt and relax into the ground. And this is going to give me the expansion and the motion that I'm after. Okay? All right, friends. So just quick takeaways. Make sure that you are breathing easy, focusing on that exhalation, fogging up the mirror, inhalation, quiet, soft through the mouth, soft through the nose, and filling up the rib cage 360 degrees. If you're finding that you feel too tense, try to relax, try to reset, try to restart. Less is more. All right. I'm really excited for you to gain some new range through this easy, relaxed breathing drill process and make some progress with your pinchy hips.